today I bought a smaller size skateboard that was just cheaper, and some elbow knee pads and a helmet that fits my head better. And I came here to this park to see if I could finally learn or start to learn how to board slide. But as you'll see in a video that comes before this, you'll see from very far away that I fell trying to attempt it, going at a faster speed. Now I'm protected with all this stuff, like the wrist pads and elbow, and which really helps because I fall a lot when it comes to skateboarding. But I guess I still experience a big fear, and that causes me sometimes to hesitate at the last second and not be as confident in what I'm supposed to be doing in order to learn the trick. Now, the trick, the board slide, for me is very important because I want to learn how to stop at fast speeds without having to put my foot down and possibly losing my balance and having an even more serious risk. And there are probably other ways to stop too. A guy at the skate shop showed me some ways, but I felt like the board slide was the coolest and the most efficient. Because if you can just master it, that turn to where the board goes completely sideways and you do that kind of screeching halt, that can really help you in a lot of situations, I think. Plus it's just cool. Some cool way to stop to impress your friends at the skate park or at your school or wherever, your work. But I always hesitate. I'm always so scared. I feel like on this ground I'm a little bit more confident. I feel like with a smaller board I'm more confident. But it's like, sometimes when you're doing things by yourself, you're like losing the confidence. And even if you look up videos on how to do it, or, you know, you remember some parts of some of it like years ago, it can still make it feel scary when you are getting back into doing something again and you want to start getting higher up in it. Like with skateboarding, if you don't just want to cruise anymore, you want to actually like do tricks and stuff, it's this difficult process of taking it to the next level where you're going to fail like a ton of times. You're going to get hurt a lot, but when you finally nail the trick, it's worth it. And when you finally get more comfortable that you can do other tricks and actually grind off of things and be able to do your first ollie, you know, and board slide and all these other tricks, it really gives you that confidence. It makes you feel proud that you didn't give up. So I'm here today at a park, and you know, when you're trying to get farther in life, when you're trying not to stay in places that you were or go backwards, when you're actually trying to push yourself to become a better person, it can be scary and hard, and sometimes you can hesitate. But it's like, oh, really, 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 really worth it to go out and try and do those things, even if you fail, even if it hurt when you did it, even if you did what I did and just fall completely flat on your back. You know, I think a lot of people think that when they fail or when they fall, it's like they won't be able to get back up again. Even with like these really bad falls that people take physically and in life, they think, you know, I'll never come back from this. It puts in your mind like this fear that that same thing's gonna happen all over again. I think it's important to note that if it didn't kill you the first time, and it was something positive, like trying out for a sports team or that job you always wanted or that school and you didn't get in, like, doesn't always mean that you can't get back from that, right? That your life won't be good. And I guess for me, this account's called Schizo Harvard. When I was in high school, I was so hesitant about applying to Harvard, I never even did. Who knows if I would have got in or not, but I'd like to believe that that wasn't my time to go. But the first time I applied, when I was a little bit older, I got in. And I got scholarships and it was cool. And did I fall on my back? Yes, because now I have to kind of build myself back up from zero from an illness and have faith that in this coming fall I'll be able to complete all the requirements they're asking of me so I can finish that degree, so I can go and experience a school that I know that I belong to. But when you fall that far, when you fall so low, and you know, I was thinking I can't get back from this. How can I? If I've fallen so deep into this just trap of my mind and I can't do the things that I used to. I don't look the way I used to. I'm just a really, really, really sick person. But when I got a wake-up call with what doctors were saying to me about my mind, about the risk factors that I have, it made me think. I'm sitting here in bed and, you know, and I'm not trying. I'm sleeping. I'm sleeping my whole life away. So I decided when I got released to get up and try. And it almost feels like, look how far I've come. I mean, skateboarding may not seem like a big thing for some of you, but for me, that was like a passion that I had since I was a kid. And to be able to come back to it and try tricks and learn more about that even has been so worthwhile. To wear these clothes that are thin, to be this thin again, to have the energy, to hold 2 jobs, you know, even at light hours. It's been making me feel like trying has been worth all the while. Trying has been the best thing that I ever could have decided to do in my life. Even if I keep falling on my butt or can still mess up things with relationships with people, or people don't treat me the same because of how I am now. Even though it's more positive, you know, you gotta take that risk. You can't hold yourself back. You have to understand your own mortality, my pastor said, and realize that, you know, what is everything? And for me, it's like, I have very strong faith. God is like a person that needs to be in my life. But everybody else, if they bring negativity or hate or harm, if they don't value my life and bring in it drama and recklessness, then what's the point of pursuing them? What's the point of giving them the time of day, giving them that ability to mess with my head? I will never be ashamed of trying, and I will never be ashamed of putting myself out there, even if I hurt myself by accident, even with all this padding. I'll always think and say that, you know, sitting on a couch or lying in a bed for years was a thing that I never wanted to be. You know, that wasn't me. But yet I had friends and people calling me up all the time, and people I could call for support, and that was good. But now that I'm better, you see everybody kind of trickle away. People get jealous. People get mad. People say you're not the same, and you're this, and that. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad I am. Because at the end of the day, I sit with myself. At the end of the day, and at the end of my life, I have to look back and say, did I try? Did I actually try? And if that answer is yes, then no regrets. No harm. But if I didn't, if I slept in a bed for the rest of my life, got put in a mental institution permanently, some type of group home that controls everything I do and will only let me do so much, hospitals that will only let me do so much, that don't see the potential that I have, then that's a major loss. That's a major fault that I made in my own life. And I'm not saying that there are people with schizophrenia that can't get out of it. Sometimes it takes years. For me, it took about 9 years, 9 or 10, to finally get to a point where I'm beginning to start my life, beginning to be a kid, beginning to be a person that I want to be, beginning to become more wise, beginning to seek the things that will bring me purity and good feelings in my soul instead of just this pain. Doesn't mean I don't still struggle with my illness. Doesn't mean I still don't have hallucinations. Doesn't mean I still don't have those odd feelings in my head. But what it does mean is that it doesn't tear me down. It doesn't drag me across the floor until I see blood. I look at it, I face it, I say what it is, and I say that's not going to deter me today. I know how to handle it. I know who to call. I know, where I need to go if I need more help, but even then, I haven't had to reach that point because I've been doing stuff like this. It's almost like, how can you be depressed when you're so focused on learning how to board slide in a park, in a public park? How can you focus on what a voice says, or a delusion, or a visual hallucination, if the second it comes on, you know, start to learn a language, or you tap into that book, or you just go and have a conversation with somebody? It doesn't have to be about what you're struggling with. Just something to distract you. I am trying. I am doing. I am being brave. Braver than I've ever been. And I'm taking hold of my own life. And I'm not throwing it away like I used to. Because I value myself that much more. And if it's a delusion to think that maybe one day I can be somebody so great that I can help others, that I can be recognized for the achievements and things that I've done in my life, the story that I hold that can empower others, then I'm delusional. But I don't think that's a delusion. I think that's me finally realizing that I am of value. And I am of so much value that my biggest investment has to be myself. And that goes for everybody. Your biggest investment has to be yourself. I can't help high schoolers in a school if I can't control my depression when it comes up and wants me to become suicidal. I can't help them if I'm still struggling. So, this time away, as I'm now building up hours at work, as I'm having free time and deciding to use it for positive things and go out and explore, I say to myself every day that I'm valuable enough to put in this effort. To put in the time for myself. There are still things I need to fix, need to work on, right? Need to overcome grief and some episodes of depression, some sadness, some hallucinations, but I think I'm moving in the right direction. I don't think I'm falling back. Instead, it feels like I'm moving forward more and more each day. If anybody out there has mental illness, or schizophrenia specifically, anything harsh like cancer, please keep trying. Do not give up on yourself. You're a valuable person. And to keep yourself in darkness and depression and sad moments and to fixate on them does you no good. In fact, it causes you to lose your mind. I lost my mind, and now I'm starting to get it back. I'll see you guys next week, and hopefully by then I'll be a better skater. Peace out.